Guru team, welcome back. Welcome back to Alessandria for one last time. It is 2035, so it's more than a decade since we last were here, or at least since you were last here. I've been here all the time. all the time, all the time, all the time. So, what we were tentatively aiming at was trying to get some of these particularly large cities, which you can see better if I turn off the stops. Some of these large cities, and some of them are quite sizable cities now. Could we get these all to above 1,000 population? Well, do you want to know the answer? The answer is no. No, no. Usano, yes. Santa Caesarea, no. Castle Vecchio and Civitella would be a push. I mean, would be a real push. And Rizzo's miles away. So the answer there is no, which is fine. I don't even know if it's achievable. And I don't think it is. And I'll explain to you why. I'll just let this run at slow speed, so we can carry on. I'm making plenty of money. Don't worry about it. We'll have a little look at each of the cities in turn. We'll start at the bottom. We'll start with Rizzo. So you can see the population here. So it has grown and it has grown, but it is plateauing off. So I don't think I'm even going to get Rizzo to 800. To be fair. This is the transport connections, and I believe line usage is how much of the total line network. Um, how much they're contributing to the use. How can I explain this? Because obviously it doesn't add up to 100. Anyway, how busy they're using the lines. Rizzo's not really using the lines a lot. They are kind of out on their own. I was going to do a high-speed commuter through there, but in the end, I spent so many times doing so many other things. Will it really make a huge difference? I'm not sure. I ended up getting rid of the Castelvecchio to Usano commuter because it wasn't making me money, but I think it was too close together. So I don't know. Maybe it would have made a difference, but I don't think it would make a 400 population difference. That's for sure. So Rizzo is doing fine. They're getting 149 out of 177 bricks that they require, and this will always go up as the town keeps growing. Their demand obviously continues to grow. 150 of 162 tools that they require, 19 to 46 goods, 24 of 42 machines. Their growth is 330%, which is pretty good. Emissions has been dropping again in Castelvecchio, but that's because I'm using a lot of diesel trains going near Castelvecchio, so don't worry about that. So that's the situation with Rizzo. A lot of people getting out and about on the roads, which is probably crying out for extra transport links, to be fair. Next on the list would be Castelvecchio. So Castelvecchio, 170 of 236 tools. I think that's probably what's keeping us down, not getting that closer to sort of the 236 mark. We got a lot of bricks, which is pretty good. We got a lot of food, which is pretty good. And we're not actually doing too bad on the machines, which is pretty good. So that's all contributing to a pretty solid growth as well. Civitella, really good on the food front. Pretty good on the fuel front, and not too bad on either the goods or the machines front, because Civitella is right next to both of those plants, which is very handy. Santa Caesarea, which is the next one, is not doing very well on the goods, which I think is dragging it down a little bit. The machines is helping pick it up, and certainly the tools and the fuel are help pick it up. But their growth is only 290%, and we just can't get enough goods out of the goods plant. Usano, the crowning glory in the Alessandria, the jewel in the Alessandria crown, which is great. Just over 1,000. So you see here that it's been eking and squeaking and eking and squeaking, and it's just managed to tip it over the top, which is very, very good. And it's all of its transport links are working super fine, which is just marvelous. Yeah, 340% growth. Not the most amount of growth, but not doing too bad. And over 1,000, it's dipping again. It occasionally drops below 1,000. So that is the situation. Why is that the situation? There is no more capacity to produce is the short answer. So if we have a look here, so I've been through and I got rid of a lot of the trains because the trains were costing me a lot of money. And it turns out, I think, as I've kind of said to you before, when you're having a look at some of these things, and you have a look at the vehicles, and you have a look at the maintenance costs, for example, the maintenance cost of one of these trucks is 70,668 a year, right? And the maintenance cost of a train can be 2 million a year. So I can get 10 of these and still have change from the maintenance cost. And then when I want to go and buy a new one, I can buy a new one for, let's have a look, 424,000, not 5 million. You know, so I got rid of a lot of trains where it was unnecessary. So stones to bricks. There is no more stones being produced. These guys are picking them up as they're produced and they're dropping them off here. And this guy is producing like crazy. As you can see, we're over at 700, nearly 700 production. And he's producing bricks just as fast as his little brick factory can. And we have, this is the Rizzo Castelvecchio brick train coming in, which is going to fill up with a whole load of bricks and cart a whole load of bricks out of here. I believe there's two of them. They've probably been delayed somewhere. Yeah. So one of them carrying 7, one of them carrying 6. So the other one will be along soon and pick all that up. These guys, there's no bricks lying around. The bricks are being picked up as soon as they are produced, loaded into trucks and taken away. There is no way I can make this work faster. I have made sure that this brick, all industries actually, are supplying each of the towns. So Rizzo gets bricks from here, Uzzano gets bricks from here, Castelvecchio gets bricks from here, and that's it. I cannot ship out any more bricks any faster than I can ship out bricks. I cannot make bricks any faster than I can make bricks, and I cannot get stone from the stone quarry any faster than I am currently moving. If I wanted to make more bricks, I need another stone quarry, and I need probably another brick factory, and then I can ship more bricks. That's the long and the short of it. This thing here is never going to ship over 700 because it's due to demand. You can see here that this is how much we're shipping, and we're shipping 100% of it is reaching its destination. This is another thing that's important that I kind of figured out. I kind of know what that means. So this is shipping as much as we can possibly ship, and it's all going to everywhere it needs to go to. And this is the amount of money that we're making at the plant. So this is absolutely making us a bucket load of cash, and it's absolutely working very, very well. So we can't make any more bricks. We can't ship any more bricks without doing something else with industry, and I don't want to do that. In terms of what I was saying about making sure that everything gets to its destination, you will see here that these are all the places that want bricks. So if you want to make sure that all of these places get bricks, you have to make sure that all of these places get bricks. It's no use just saying, oh, I'll just put one depot down here, right, somewhere, or one depot over here, or even one depot over here, and say it's going to supply everything. It simply might not supply everything. So we have one great big depot, which is over here. I think no, this is a stop. Is this stop doing bricks? No, he's doing goods. I think it's this one here. This stop here. This stop is doing bricks for us. That's the one that's capable of sorting the bricks for us. So with this one stop here, we can do all of that, completely in contravention to what I just told you. But if you go and have a look at one of the bigger places over here, the bread and the fuel in particular, one stop won't cut it. So I actually have two stops for food over here. So it's being fed from here. I have Uzano food trucks east and Uzano food trucks west, and that's supplying all of the food over here. And I'm pretty sure it's 100%. Yep, 100% to Uzano, 100% to Castelvecchio, 100% to Civitella. So again, all of the places that want food are getting food. That increases demand. Demand increases production at the plant. The production at the plant increases the needs here, which increases the demand, which means this place produces more, which then this place fills up, which then we distribute. And so the cycle goes. So I've been around all of my industries and did that. I mean, if you have a look here, this is the steel line, and it's just practically end-to-end trucks. I can't put any more trucks in. I changed all the train lines. I separated out the train lines, so I made things move. The log trucks, I can't put any more log trucks on the line. You can simply see how many of the steel ore trucks are here. They're just shipping as fast as they can, and this place is loaded and producing as fast as it can, and I can't get it above 800. This place is shipping out as fast as it can to the places that need it, which are the goods factory and the machines factory. And the machines factories are going as fast as they can, but they need more steel. So realistically, if I wanted to get more machines made, one steel plant isn't enough. And the same over here. If I wanted to get more goods made, one steel plant isn't enough. I mean, we're level 3 there, and we are level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. So that's a lot, but it's still not enough to supply the towns where they are to get to populations of 1,000. So Santasea's was at 947, but is dropping again, and they're still around 866. So that's kind of the limiting factors here. The limiting factors are some of these production places, even going flat shtick, are simply not enough by themselves to supply what's needed. I would really need one steel plant to supply the machines factory and one steel plant to supply the goods factory by itself. Plastics is fine, not an issue. Timber, also fine, not an issue. But steel is an issue. And the same with the refineries. I have trains, just trains. I rerouted all the oil trains round the loop again so I could fit more trains on. And I have literally a queue of oil trains coming into the refinery. And it's just about keeping up. Not quite, but the refinery is at 980 production. Level 6 and a bit, and I can't get it to 1400, and we're shipping as much as we can out here to the fuel refinery, and the fuel refinery is going just as fast as it can. It's level 4 and a bit, but I just can't get enough fuel out the door to supply the various towns' needs for fuel. I even did the same down here with the fuel refinery down here, and while there's some stuff queuing here, it's simply not enough. So that's it. That's where we got to an impasse with this kind of thing. It was just it's not quite possible to produce enough to get all of the towns over 1,000. Could I hang out on this map and do a bit more? Like I said, do a bit more detailing. I had some ideas for things that we could chuck in, things that I've done before on places like City Skylines. You could do things like, I don't know, you could put in like a golf course or country club. You can put in like a horse racing track or a car racing track, dirt bike tracks. You can put in things that make the landscape lived in by people as opposed to just people living in houses. More farms, more smaller farm communities kind of things cropping up. You could probably do little bits and pieces like that. There is some things that could be done, and this may not be a permanent imminent goodbye to Alessandria. I'm going to save the map. I'm going to try and save all my maps from now on in a kind of finalized form, or at least when I get it to a finalized form. And there's a possibility that I could go back and fiddle with this and tweak this, and we could do a Return to Alessandria series where we have a look at some changes that could be made, and maybe actually see if we can get all of the towns to 1,000 pop by introducing some new industries and things. There's not many redundant industries left on the map. There's one over here, and there's one over here, and there's one over here. But that's essentially it. We did have the marble quarry over here that got moved. So yeah, there's not a lot. But we could still fiddle about with it, and we could still do things, and we could look at, is there a better way to streamline some of these train lines and various bits and pieces. So anyway, I have waffled on probably enough. I just wanted to bring you in to do one last recap and say I really hope you've enjoyed the series. It started off really well. I had lots of viewers, and then it sort of tailed off. I think you got bored with me talking and wanted to see me doing things. So you don't like me explaining things to you, which is a bit odd. But anyway, that's my fault, not your fault. And I will see what I can do about that going forward. Maybe I need to explain a little bit more. Maybe I need to show you a little bit more about what I'm doing instead of sitting down and explaining to you a little bit more, a little bit of what I'm doing. I don't really know. Anyway. That's it for Alessandria. I've enjoyed it. It's been enjoyable. It's been an enjoyable and frankly an addictive experience. The balancing of things is quite the challenge. I'd have to say. I'm just turning the sound of the whistling wind off. Trying to get all these things balanced and working through all of these things, going through and understanding all of the mechanics of the trains and various other bits and pieces. You see there, I said what would just this is one train carrying 88. It's costing me 1.3 million a year, whereas that was the equivalent of what five of those trucks at 70,000 a year. A lot less, eh? A lot less. So, even that, I could probably replace that with trucks and I wouldn't need to pay for that train. I don't know when that dynamic changed, probably with the faster vehicles. Probably when vehicles started reaching speeds of 80 and 100 kilometers an hour. That's as fast as some of these trains are going. So this train here is coming over at 68 because of the corners. So I think that's something to bear in mind. The only way to get a fast train to work is if you draw a really long straight line like this one. Well, I say really long. If you draw a straight track like this one, they can get up to 160. But that's it. Most of the time they get to 120 if you're lucky, but they're not really going to get above that. 140, 150 would be a stretch, and if they did, it would be for a very little bit. So yeah, so it's an interesting dynamic. It's an interesting thing. There's lots of things to bear in mind. There's lots of things to keep an eye on in terms of the industries and how the industries grow and morph. Once you figure out that that demand drives production, that makes the game a lot easier because rather than hanging back and saying, oh, I want to make sure as much fuel as possible is getting to Santa Caesarea before I ship it to Uzanu. They're completely separate, and by adding them together, this one place produces more anyway. So it's not either or. The two places aren't competing with each other, although it seems initially that they are. They help drive the supply up together, whereas one just won't cut it. And there's economic ways to do that. You want to make sure, for example, that you're getting close to your limit in terms of shipping, so that you can go up a level. This fuel refinery might squeak over to go up a level yet, so we might get some more fuel out of that, which would be pretty good. But I don't think that places like this now well short. That's never going to get to 400. So understanding that, And keeping a very close eye on costs and keeping a very close eye on maintenance. I've been going through here, and I noticed that I saw that there were some things that have drifted into bad again, mostly buses. To be fair, just keeping an eye on your maintenance costs and everything, keeping an eye on things. And if a train looks like it's losing money, it's probably losing money. Don't wear it because it'll make you bankrupt in no time. So yeah, those are some of the lessons. I might do a tips video at some point. I don't know when, and I don't know when the new series will come out. There's a lot of things happening this month, a lot of things going on with the channel, and a lot of games coming out in the mid-year, which are looking really really good. They're summer releases for most of Europe and North America, but where I am, it's winter, which is great because we're all trapped indoors. So there's lots of good games coming out, and I'll be going through a whole bunch of those. I am sure I want to do this. I really probably should get back to doing some DayZ. That's for sure. But yeah, for now, I hope you really have enjoyed this map. The next one will definitely be tropical. I think it's the only one I haven't done, so it's going to have much more reliance on the coast and boats, I do believe. And I think, to be fair, I think given that we should probably go to the next map size up, which could be interesting, and all of the additional towns and industries and everything else to manage that goes along with that. And I've been through the mod store and I've had an awful lot of assets loaded up for detailing and decoration, so we can really get into some of that. But I'll go through all of the mods and various of the things that I'm picking when we start the new map, whenever that might be. Until then, I do hope you have liked it. If you have, please, please, please click a like. And if you haven't clicked a like on any of the other videos, go back and like those too. Subscribe to the channel. It does help me an awful lot. Thank you very much. It is a way of saying thank you for all the time and effort that I put into all of these things. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. Those of you that do. And feel free to drop any comments, pass along any tips and tricks of your own, any recommendations or anything for new maps or new mods or anything like that are always welcome. And I will see you all again real soon. Ta-ta for now.